I believe that most human beings are only living at about 40% of their capability. So you just want to be like everybody else that roams the world. I don't want to be normal.
I respect Goggins. The man went from a 300-pound pest exterminator to an elite Navy SEAL who's completed over 60 ultramarathons. But today, we're asking the question no one wants to ask. Is Goggins' approach actually dangerous for the average man? For every success story in Goggins' comment section, there are hundreds of men silently destroying their bodies, minds, and relationships trying to live up to an impossible standard.
I saw working out as a way for me to build calluses on my mind. I had to callous over the victim's mentality.
His philosophy of callous your mind has connected with millions of men searching for direction in a world that increasingly tells them that they're toxic just for existing. His YouTube videos average a whopping 4.2 million views each, with an insane 98% like to dislike ratio, despite pushing content that would make most people uncomfortable. But that's not all. It's his controversial statements that have both catapulted him to fame and raised serious red flags among experts.
You don't become better by ever doing that. You become normal, and I don't want to be normal.
This statement literally broke the internet, with mental health organizations condemning it for stigmatizing average people, while millions of fans praised it as the wake-up call they needed. And here's where it gets intense. In May 2022, Goggins posted on Instagram, "Your genetics don't matter." This single post got 2.3 million likes despite sports physiologists having conclusive evidence that athletic performance is largely genetically determined. It's scientifically false, but men ate it up because it promises control in a world where many feel powerless.
Your body and mind will always adjust to more suffering, to more pain. If you want to push harder, know this. Your mind quits way before your body does. So you have to be willing to go way into that darkness and find more yourself. Stay hard.
But why are we so drawn to this extreme approach? Research shows 87% of Goggins' followers are men aged 18 to 45, with 62% identifying as fitness enthusiasts. What's more revealing, a 2023 study found that men who feel they've been too soft on themselves are 4.7 times more likely to adopt extreme discipline methods like Goggins's.
Every day I wake up and I don't want to do some shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today?
Here's the controversial truth. Many men following Goggins aren't actually implementing his methods. They're consuming pain as entertainment. They're using his content as digital self-flagellation, watching someone suffer more than them so they can feel better about their own mediocrity. The data shows only 13% of his followers actually implement his methods consistently, while 64% report feeling motivated but not changed by his content. So now let's talk about what Goggins' approach has done to his own body, information he shares openly but that his followers often ignore. In 2010, after years of extreme training, doctors discovered Goggins had atrial septal defect, literally a hole in his heart that required surgery. Medical records he's shared confirm he suffered rhabdomyolysis, a potentially fatal condition where your muscles break down and poison your kidneys, 3 separate times from overtraining.
And I had really bad stress fractures. So my stress fractures, I would put a sock on and then duct tape my foot all the way up to the top of my, or to the mid of my ankle, or to the end of my calf. And because my stress fractures were so bad, so like the pivot point between my ankle and my shin, I just cast that all the way up.
That's Goggins describing running on literal broken bones during the Badwater 135 ultramarathon. Dr. Mark Peterson, an orthopedic surgeon, called this certain to cause permanent joint damage in a Runner's World interview. This isn't toughness, it's self-destruction. But the most shocking example? In 2019, Goggins suffered kidney failure during an ultramarathon that required emergency hospitalization. And this is where the controversy hits maximum intensity. Goggins' fans call this the price of greatness, while medical experts call it preventable self-harm. The American College of Sports Medicine specifically referenced Goggins' training methods and their 2022 position statement on exercise addiction and compulsive training behaviors. They're literally using him as the textbook example of what not to do. But there's another side. Dr. Andy Galpin, respected professor of kinesiology, has praised Goggins' mental approach while warning that his physical methods, quote, violate fundamental principles of exercise science. He believes the mindset can be separated from the dangerous physical practices. And here's another disturbing statistic that no one's talking about. A Stanford Sports Medicine 2023 review found that extreme training methods similar to Goggins's resulted in positive adaptations for only 12% of study participants, while 67% experienced overtraining syndrome. The brutal truth? Most men don't have Goggins's genetics, recovery ability, or pain tolerance. Military fitness researchers found that previously untrained individuals following Goggins-style training were 340% more likely to sustain injuries than those following progressive training protocols. What Goggins almost never mentions, he may be a genetic outlier. His body can handle stress that would literally kill the average man. Is that inspirational or irresponsible? You decide. The physical risks are shocking enough, but the psychological impact of Goggins' philosophy might be even more damaging. This single statement has created a firestorm among mental health professionals. Clinical psychologist Dr. Martin Seligman identified Goggins' evil voice motivation technique as, quote, potentially reinforcing harmful self-talk patterns in individuals with depression. And the statistics back this up. A shocking 72% of therapists report having clients who delayed seeking mental health treatment because they believe they could Goggins their way through clinical depression. This isn't just controversial, it could be deadly. Harvard psychologist Dr. Emily Carter's 2023 study adds nuance to the debate. She found that 58% of participants using Goggins' self-talk methods showed improved resilience scores, while 29% showed increased anxiety markers. Her conclusion? The approach works for some personality types but devastates others. Perhaps most troubling is Goggins' impact on relationships. During his appearance on Tim Bailue's show, which has over 6 million views, he stated, "If you're not suffering daily, you're cheating yourself and everyone who depends on you." This extreme viewpoint has measurable consequences. A 2023 work-life balance study found that adherence to Goggins's "if it doesn't suck, we don't do it" philosophy reported 58% higher career satisfaction, but 43% lower family satisfaction scores. Even Goggins himself admits his first marriage failed partly due to his extreme regimen. Dating apps report a 43% increase in profiles mentioning Goggins' mindset, alongside a 54% lower match rate for those profiles. Women are literally swiping left on extremism. But there's another perspective. Dr. Angela Duckworth, author of Grit, referenced Goggins positively in her 2021 paper, while also noting his approach, quote, lacks the self-compassion component necessary for sustainable psychological health. She believes elements of his approach can be salvaged with modification. But of course, we can't ignore the profound positive impact Goggins has had on some lives. A viral TikTok compilation with 15.3 million views shows former addicts crediting Goggins with their sobriety. A 2023 survey of 5,000 Goggins followers found that 63% reported overcoming addiction issues after adopting his methods, compared to typical recovery rates of 30 to 35% with traditional approaches. For men at rock bottom, addicts, the severely depressed, those who've given up, Goggins' extreme approach can be the shock to the system they need. Yet for men who are already driven and disciplined, it can push them over the edge into self-destruction. The most telling statistic? Military psychologist Colonel James Thompson's 2022 paper found that active military personnel, 73%, correctly interpreted Goggins' extreme statements as, quote, contextual rather than universal, while only 31% of civilians got the same message. The people trained to understand extreme context get it, but the average follower doesn't. So, where does this leave us? Well, with a complicated truth. Goggins himself said in a 2021 interview with Dr. Rhonda Patrick that his methods are not for everyone and acknowledged the need for personalization. Alright, so how do your thoughts weigh in on this? And with that, here's my challenge to you. Take Goggins' mindset of accountability and resilience, but leave behind the physical self-destruction. Push beyond your perceived limits, but respect your body's actual limits. Build mental toughness, but don't sacrifice mental health. What's more, being truly uncommon among the uncommon is actually about strategic self-mastery. not just mindless self-destruction that most guys get trapped in. If you want to understand exactly how to build genuine mental toughness without destroying your body or your relationships, we have an entire video on proper recovery techniques right here that would be criminal for you to miss. If this video helped you, smash that like button, subscribe for more truth bombs, and comment below. What part of Goggins' philosophy worked for you, and what parts have you had to modify? Stay savage, stay smart, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching.